Yahweh said to Moshe,
Get thee up into this mountain of the Abarim, to Mount Nabal, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho, and behold the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel for a possession, and die in the mount whither thou goest up, and be gathered to thy people, as Aharon thy brother died in Hor, the mountain, and was gathered to his people, because ye did treacherously against me in the midst of the children of Israel at the waters of Meribah of Kadesh, in the wilderness of Thin, because ye sanctified me not in the midst of the children of Israel. For thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go thither into the land which I give to the children of Israel.
Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 33. And this is the blessing wherewith Moshe the man of the God blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, Yahweh came from Sinai and rose from Seir for them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came from the myriads of holiness. At his right hand was a fiery law for them. Yea, he loved the people. All his holy ones are in thy hand. And they sat down at thy feet. Every one shall receive of thy words. Moshe commanded us a law, an inheritance for the assembly of Yaakov. And he was king in Yeshurun, when the heads of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel together. Let Reuben live and not die, nor let his men be few. And this is the blessing of Yehudah. And he said, Hear Yahweh the voice of Yehudah, and bring him in to his people. With his hands he contended for himself, and thou shalt be a help against his adversaries. And of Levi he said, Thy Tumim and thy Urim are with thy godly one, whom thou didst test at Massah, with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah, who said of his father and of his mother, I have not seen him. Neither did he acknowledge his brothers, nor knew he his own children. For they have observed thy word, and kept thy covenant. They shall teach Jacob thy ordinances, and Israel thy law. They shall put incense before thee, and whole offering upon thy altar. Bless Yahweh his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise up against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again. Of Benjamin he said, The beloved of Yahweh shall dwell in safety by him. He covereth him all the day long, and he dwelleth between his shoulders. And of Yosef he said, Blessed of Yahweh be his land, for the precious things of the skies, for the dew, and for the deep that coucheth beneath, and for the precious things of the fruits of the sun, and for the precious things of the growth of the moons, and for the chief things of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the everlasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth, and the fullness thereof, and the good will of him that dwelt in the bush. Let the blessings come upon the head of Yosef, and upon the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brothers. The firstling of his herd, majesty is his, and his horns are the horns of the wild ox. With them he shall push the peoples, all of them, even the ends of the earth. And they are the myriads of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zabulon he said, Rejoice, Zabulon, in thy going out, and Yishashakar in thy tents. They shall call the peoples to the mountain. There shall they offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck the abundance of the seas and the hidden treasures of the sand. And of God he said, Blessed be he that enlargeth God. He dwelleth as a lioness, and teareth the arm, yea, the crown of the head. And he provided the first part for himself, for there was the lawgiver's portion reserved. And he came with the heads of the people. He executed the righteousness of Yahweh, and his ordinances with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp that leapeth forth from the Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor, and full with the blessing of Yahweh, possess thou the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Blessed be Asher with children. Let him be acceptable to his brothers, and let him dip his foot in oil. Thy bars shall be iron and copper, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be. There is none like the God, O Yeshurun, who rideth upon the skies for thy help, and in his excellency on the skies. The eternal God is thy dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms. And he thrust out the enemy from before thee, and said, Destroy. And Israel dwelleth in safety, the fountain of Jacob alone, in a land of grain and new wine. Yea, his skies drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like thee, a people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and the sword of thy excellency. And thy enemies shall submit themselves to thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. And Moshe went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nabal.